Thank you so much.
Gentleman from Illinois is recognized.
Thank you so much. I'd like to, first of all, thank the gentleman for raising the point of order. You know, keeping American families safe is the first responsibility of Congress. But Republicans have decided that appeasing the anti-immigrant Tea Party extremists is more important than protecting our homeland. Just consider one moment. Every House Democrat co-sponsoring clean legislation to fund DHS. It is clear, therefore, that there are sufficient votes to pass a bill immediately and keep DHS funded and open. However, House Republicans continue to block consideration of a clean bill, DHS bill, and sustain their latest manufactured crisis, because this is a manufactured crisis. Think about it one moment. Three, not one, three former DHS secretaries, Secretary Ridge, Bush, Secretary Chertoff, Bush, and Secretary Napolitano, Obama, sent a letter to Senators McConnell and Reid calling for a clean DHS funding bill. That is, Chertoff, Ridge, Napolitano all said, former heads of DHS, 2 Republicans, 1 Democrat. It is, quote, imperative that we ensure DHS is ready, willing, and able to protect the American people. To that end, we urge you not to risk funding for the operations that protects every American and to pass a clean DHS funding bill. I think it's preposterous that Republicans can even suggest that a lapse in DHS funding dealing a blow to men and women charged with protecting our homeland at a time when such vigilance is of the utmost necessity. Do we need to bring up the 3 jihadists in New York City and Brooklyn and the continuing threats that the head of the FBI tells us exist in every state of the union? And this is a time when we're discussing that we are not going to fund the men and women on the front line at the Department of Homeland Security protecting our nation? This is no time for political trickery and manufactured crises. This is a time to put America first, the safety of American citizens first, and politics and partisanship should be at the bottom rung of any consideration. But that's not what we're doing. I think it's disrespectful to those who work at DHS, at TSA, and at the Coast Guard, and at the Border Patrol, and ICE, and other agencies, a complete disregard to American people who trust us to govern responsibly. And for what? To attack the president. Remember what I said this morning. Holding hostage the security of our homeland will not force the president of the United States to deport every non-citizen in our country. And Republicans want to make a priority deportation, but that is not going to make our country safer. I find it a bit ironic that it seems to me that the basic reason we're not going to fund the clean DHS, which we had a clean agreed to by both sides in the House and the Senate, we were ready to go, until the Republicans woke up one day all angry because Barack Obama went, the president went and issued an executive order. So they said, oh, we got to go get those immigrants. So let's put at risk the funding of DHS. And that was in order to stop a program that would allow about 4 million parents of American citizen children, 4 million parents of American citizen children, go through a background check, get right with the law, and about 1 million dreamers, that is, young people who are in this country, right, and came here as children. So that's why you're holding it up. Guess what? The only thing that's holding it up is the preposterous decision by a federal judge, which you went and handpicked. Right, you went shopping. Let's get a judge that's going to agree with us ahead of time, and then let's declare it a victory. Well, that decision is being appealed. If I were your side of the aisle, I'd just declare victory and say, okay, we have a judicial process that's going on. It's going to be dealt with in the courtroom, and in the meantime, we're going to protect the American people. Because in the end, when this is all said and done, if you shut down DHS, you do not stop the processing of the documentation for undocumented workers. And for dreamers, you don't stop it. Why? Because not a cent of DHS funding comes from here. You know where it comes from? From the application fees that they pay. So there will be money to pay those workers within the context, but you're not going to pay a Coast Guard member? Sure, I would.
So I think what you're saying is if the Republicans shut down the Department of Homeland Security, the only thing that department will be able to do is to process the paperwork for undocumented immigrants, and they won't be able to fulfill their functions keeping our nation safe. Yield back.
Absolutely. In other words, we're going to put at risk the safety of the nation, while at the same time, the 5 million that they call illegal are getting legalized, because how is it that you finance that? Through their contributions and the money that they have to spend in the application fees. So you don't reach the purpose. You have put in jeopardy the safety of our nation in order to punish a group of people you can't punish. You can't punish them because they're paying for it. So American citizens, while you're waiting for your visa, while you're waiting for your citizenship applications, while you're waiting for that, guess what? The Republicans have decided you need to wait while the 5 million that the president says he wants to legalize continue to get processed. It's absurd what's going on here. We are putting at jeopardy the American people. You don't think the Border Patrol is an essential protection to the nation? I don't know how you can say that on that side of the aisle, because every other word is secure the border, secure the border, secure the border. But when it comes to securing the border, you say, let's not fund it. We're not going to fund securing the border today. We are simply going to let it lapse and say to those Border Patrol agents, you know what, why don't you show up and secure the border, but we're not going to give you enough money to pay your mortgage. We're not going to give you enough money in order to pay your groceries, pay your heating bill. We're not going to pay you for securing the border because we think we need to punish President Obama and all of those who would think that we might need to reprioritize how it is. Lastly, I want to say to the gentleman from Colorado, in the end, there are 5 million American citizen children who are going to remember this day. 5 million American citizen children who are going to remember this. And you know how they're going to remember it? They're going to remember their moms and their dads who were undocumented, these Americans, 5 million of them. And eventually they're going to reach 18 years of age and they're going to vote. And you know what? When they go vote, you know what they're going to remember with their first vote? Who treated their parents so cruelly and so miserably. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman's time has expired.